This is the Violent Professional Podcast brought to you by AriesClothing.com.
You were saying you're bitching about the destruction of the earth, and like we're not ruining it, or like you don't care if you ruin the earth.
Yeah, well, no, it's not even that. It's not. Do I care about if I ruin the earth? What's the age of the earth? Google that shit. What's the age of the planet?
6.5 billion years.
6.5 billion years. Okay, so along come these fucking hairless apes that are running around the planet talking about we gotta save the planet. We gotta save the planet. They're only here for 70 to 90 years.
I like the term hairless apes because we do have hair, but it's
you know what I mean.
Maybe hair-reduced apes.
Yeah, sure.
Track that. It's according to Google, it's 4.5. So
4.5 billion
years,
right? So do you think
comparative to the rest of the universe? How old is the universe?
This hippie dope smoking, latte drinking, Seattle living, whatever dude that wants to save the planet, okay? He thinks he's going to affect change in that minuscule little 70, 80, 90 years that he might be on this planet. When you think about that's just a
drop. The fuck does Seattle have to do with that?
It's because it's
a place.
Liberal central.
Yeah.
According to Google, the Earth's 13.7 billion years old.
13.7 billion years old. Oh my God, if we reduce carbon emissions by...
13.7 is different than the 6 because those fuckers pray to the owl god Moloch. And they heard that from his fucking mouth. That's why Google understands that.
But I mean, literally...
Okay, then, so you're saying we're not going to ruin it now, which maybe it's true, maybe it's not. I'm not a scientist, but then when did people start saying we're going to ruin the Earth?
But are we ruining it?
Science will say that we're killing it.
Science.
Are we killing it? Are we changing it?
Uh-huh.
Is it transforming?
All right. Catch you with this, okay? If we view the Earth as an organism, right? If we're just hairless apes or whatever, and we view the Earth as an organism, and we induce changes into the Earth that organism doesn't know how to handle yet, it doesn't know how to combat yet, do you think it's not going to change it? Do we know if it won't kill it? I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying, like, do we know?
Billion years. How many times has the Earth changed in a billion years? You think about it. Okay, so what we're exacting right now with our carbon emissions and everything else like that, I'm sure is all something that's happened before in the billions of years that the planet
3 mass extinctions.
Exactly. So, the dinosaurs weren't freaking burning fossil fuels to
they were creating the fossil fuels.
Do you understand the irony in that statement?
But yeah, isn't it?
Dinosaurs.
So we're using the product of those that went extinct. We're using the product of that to freaking bring on our extinction. But that's just the cycle of life on Earth, isn't it?
Is it?
Well,
I don't think we know.
Creation of
now, are you talking
technologies?
When you say 3 mass extinctions, Mike? Let's just go back to that.
Yeah.
3 mass extinctions. Are you referring to one of those as being Noah's Ark and the flooding of the Earth by God?
No, I'm not. I'm not talking about that at all. With the 2 animals or the male and female. No, I'm not. Are we getting to some biblical discussion?
I don't know, but I just want to see if we're going to veer off that path.
I don't really want to, just because
I like to pull Jeremy into some biblical discussions every now and then. Because 1, he's very knowledgeable about it, and then 2, he was just recently.
It's fine if we do, but I feel like people are going to. It's going to get us a lot of angry people on the podcast listening.
I don't know if that's the.
I don't really need more people to downgrade the episode.
No.
I had a perfect 30 5-star ratings until some asshole decided to give me a 3-star. It's been eating up my fucking.
Do you know who he was?
No, you can vote. You can rate
anonymously.
And
how much of a ballless fuck do you have to be to give a shitty rating
and that's the thing.
Not own up to it?
That's the thing.
I mean, if you're going to call somebody out and be like, "You suck," at least say it to their face.
And it's his opinion too. I don't care if you don't. I understand. There's Jeremy knows people don't like mole people. They don't like whatever. They listen to the first few episodes and they're like, "Oh, it's sweet. It's gonna be another military podcast." And then it takes a sharp decline into something weird. Even this is not a military-related conversation, but I understand dude doesn't like it, but at least say why you don't like it. I wish they would get back to the original fucking...
But really, yeah.
And they'd be like, okay, cool, he just doesn't like it because of that.
If you leave some feedback, if you leave negative feedback, if you could give some sort of idea of
criticism, maybe.
Well, no, it's exactly constructive criticism, or like, how would you like it? How would you like to hear? What would make it better for you? But just to be like anonymous about it, be like, you suck.
No conversation at all.
Yeah,
it's
no, anything like that. Just that's so pathetic.
Yeah,
it just screams to get punched in the face.
This is why the Earth needs to have a fourth extinction. Because of people like this. I hope he's listening to it. He's like, I'm going to give you a fucking 1 star.
Oh, you suck.
Like, 3 stars not bad. It's right in the middle. But the fact that they did it anonymously is like, why the fuck did you ruin my perfect rating, you fucking cock? I don't understand it. I was crushing other podcasts in like that regard. You can't win them all. You can't win them all.
Clearly you can't. Jeremy's desperately looking up something.
No, I have something that I was trying
Yahoo! Ask Jeeves says it's 20 billion years.
I think I had some,
Ask Jeeves. I'm sure that still exists.
I have shit in here. I had something. It was like an article from like the early 1900s. That it was.
There's no article from the 1900s on the internet.
No. It was a picture of an article from early 1900s.
Oh, a picture. Yeah.
There's a picture or a caption, and it actually talked about like somebody talking about like the emissions that we were putting in the air. It was like factories and stuff like that would kill the, eventually kill the thing. So kill the environment or whatever. But
there is science behind it. I'm not going to say we're not doing harm, but I think the planet's very versatile. Now
Resilient?
I think resilient? Sure. Now, do I think that we should do more? Sure. Does everybody need to drive a freaking, if you live in suburbia, okay, you don't own a boat, you're not living on the farm, you really don't need the F-350 dually, kicking out, burn all those fossils. You really don't need that. You know what I'm saying? You really don't need that. Yeah, we get the choice to do it, and if you know what,
I feel like that runs counter to American culture, though.
Does it? I don't know. I'm an American, but I drive a freaking Hyundai Sonata with 0 emissions, and that's why I bought the car, because of that.
Great gas mileage.
And it's great gas mileage. I mean, I could be driving the
fucking aliens are going to be like 40 miles to the gallon.
Yeah.
Fucking apes. I have 0 point energy, you fucking idiot.
Exactly. When are you going to
look at these ants building things?
Yeah. When are you guys going to develop a warp core?
0 point energy.
Yeah.
So how do we amplify the destruction of the human race? Let's get into the eugenics. Oh, isn't that... Yeah, that's creating the super race. Let's not talk about that. We talked about... Yeah.
So was that a discussion prior?
Oh, we mentioned
it. Yeah, we definitely...
we
crossed... Yeah, we've crossed that line. It was part of what the Nazi Germany used. Actually, America, they really got the science from what we were doing. Yeah, selective breeding, like things that we were doing, sterilizing males, the lesser... the deviants and all those people, sterilizing them, and the Nazis just kind of picked up on that as they attempted their
We didn't talk
plan.
about it. It was mentioned because we were...
It was mentioned because of the route we were
the
going
master
down.
race of moles.
Yeah, we said some things that crossed that line, but...
It's all right. People like it. People say you can create all kinds of fucking movements.
So these mole people, what type of government did they develop?
Well,
there was a hierarchy and everything.
Yeah,
you gotta go listen to that shit.
It was pretty...
I'm behind
I love talking to
It wasn't
people that
autocratic.
are like, oh yeah, I listened to your podcast.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you'll get some people that fucking comment and send me shit that's like very deep in the episode. I'm like, holy fuck, I forgot we said that. What timestamp is that? And they're like, minute fucking 35 and 25 seconds. What? There's some people that are super fans of it. Mole people.
No, we got to save mole people. We have a plan for the mole people. So tell us, what was it like when women couldn't vote?
When women couldn't vote, I imagine it was a calmer time for men. I mean, just take back. If you think back to what our patriarchal society was like in the early 1900s. I mean, you guys all freaking seen Leave It to Beaver, June Cleaver. She's got the dinner ready.
That wasn't necessarily true. What, women got the vote in 1919. I believe it was something like that in 1919.
Mm-hmm. So think okay,
but when the first woman mayor was elected, governor?
No,
it was like 1924. So I think like 1924, early 1920s. It was in Texas, and then she got followed by a female governor in the 20s.
What was freaking Hillary's excuse? The women voted the way their husbands told them to. Remember that one? Did you guys hear that? No. Hillary Clinton was claiming that was one of the reasons that Trump got so many votes because women weren't freaking standing up for themselves and they were voting the way their husbands wanted them to vote.
Seems very mischaracterized.
Patriarchal?
As like, how do you know what they went in the booth and pushed? The first fact, most fucking Americans don't vote, so we can toss most of that logic out.
No, that's why I don't know why they put such a big thing on elections and everything like that. I mean, you think about it. You think
small percentage
350 million people, you'd think there would be more than 40 million people voting, 50 million people voting, you know? I mean, yeah, I get it. Kids and
like I said, it's American culture. Like that, you give absolute freedom to make a choice, and then most people just choose not to have to do the work. Why? Because I ain't gonna go fucking stand that line at the fucking elementary school.
But you don't even have to stand at the line. Most states have freaking mail-in ballots. You can just freaking
Washington has that.
Sit at home and do it, and then mail it in, and you don't have to pay postage on it.
Yeah, we have. They send it to you. You just fill out the shit. Give you a booklet. It's unbiased and it just tells you what they believe in, and then you fucking mark a thing,
mark
and then
your thing, and you mail
mailbox. You know, it's easy. Drop it off when I go to the gym at night and post my sauna videos.
Dude, you gotta go to the end of your driveway and put it in your mailbox. Put the flag up. You don't even have to leave your property.
It's true.
Yet people don't vote. Everyone wants to talk shit about the president and the freaking whoever is in charge at the time, but people don't even participate. You know why?
So how do we end the world?
No, I can tell you why. Because they changed civics class to social studies. That was the fucking downfall. What? Civics class changed to social studies, and that was the fucking starting of the spiral downhill.
It's just a name, like...
It's not a name. It's different things. The civics class, you talk about how the fucking government works and everything like that. Most Americans don't even know how the fucking government works.
I'm pretty sure I took that class in high school. It was called American Government.
Yeah. And you also took social studies, but you didn't take civics. Civics was all about how the republic worked.
Yeah, that was government. I took that class. It still exists. I think it's just got a different name.
See, this is a bad idea.
Why is it a bad idea?
It's not a bad idea.
People just want to hear people talk about anything.
There's no such thing as bad material.
Yeah. People will be like, this is the best episode ever. It's like, I shut it off in minute 5.
Had some old fucking there was talking about how civics became social studies.
When I went to school, we had different water fountains.
Now, see.
It was called the white man's world class 101.
No, I'm not going to go there.
I will.
They didn't teach civics all day. So it was social studies when I went to high school. But my grandfather told me that.
He told him,
civics was the better class. But anyway, regardless of that, you fucking younger generation.
Your grandfather told you this?
My grandfather.
Was he goose stepping when he told you
that? So, it's funny that you would say that.
Well, you tell because nobody. You tell the people this is going to be your first episode, but tell the people about your background. There's people that we talk. I mentioned you in a couple of episodes. So when you fucking lawn darted in, we could actually bring that up when he fucking the military, because he's not on another episode, but I've talked about it a few times. The man himself lawn darted. We could talk about your background being from Germany. And
okay, we'll talk about my goose stepping grandfather, if you will, because Germans are savages anyway. Fucking barely even human.
Sorry, Germany.
Not sorry. No, so
I spent 2 years there. I like it.
My German grandfather
was statues to my grandfather.
Was actually in the German Navy during WW2. My American grandfather was in the Pacific, so they didn't meet up on the fucking battlefield. Right? But anyway, he was an ensign in the German Navy on a destroyer up somewhere near Norway, some bullshit like that. So 1945 rolls around, and in January 1945, he went to an officer academy, where he was going to become a lieutenant or whatever else like that. And about 3 weeks into the course, they were just like, course is over. You're all sergeants in the infantry now. And so he got shipped off to the front where he was freaking fighting.
Anyway, goddamn course run by M. Night Shyamalan. Fucking twist.
So anyway, he's a sergeant in the infantry now. He's got his freaking squad of dudes, whatever else like that. And he was in southern Germany fighting against the French. And he was getting chow for his guys and was running across the street and got shot by a sniper. So then he's getting medevaced, and the ambulance gets stopped by the SS, and they're threatening to kill him because they think he's deserting the battlefield. And then he ended up getting to a hospital somewhere, and while he was in the hospital, they got overrun, and he was taken POW. And then he spent a year in a POW camp in Germany. How about that? Being a POW in your own country, that's gotta suck. But after he was released after a year, and then so he got out in 1946, and he was from Berlin, and he had been in a POW camp in southern Germany, and he was making his way back to Berlin. Flip side of that, my grandmother was from southern Germany, from the Bavarian forest, and she had got drafted into the army and was a communications person at Army headquarters in Berlin.
She was the one plugging the little...
Yeah, she's the one that you see in the movies. So he's doing the freaking
switch operator.
It's very historical. Now people do that and they make shitty podcasts. I do the same fucking thing, but it's like, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It's just bullshit.
But she had, as the Russians were taking Berlin, she had escaped to, I don't know, somewhere north of there. And then she and some of her friends pretended to be Red Cross workers in order to get through frickin' lines and whatever and survive, because she was a sergeant. Her rank was sergeant or something like that in the German army. And then after it was all over and everything like that, and Berlin fell, she obviously managed to stay away from the Russians and make her way back into regular Germany. And then she was working her way down south, and of course they met up in the middle of the country around Frankfurt area, and then that's that side of the family.
Just pounded it out.
My goose steppers. Yeah. Now my American
pounded
grandfather,
it out in the middle of the fucking muck and mire.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they pounded it out. But, I mean,
We called it something else back then.
Yeah, shit happens. But
cool.
Yeah, there's that. The goose steppers. Fucking German stuff.
I think they called it strudeling the schnitzel.
Strudeling the schnitzel. Yeah.
Strudel the schnitzel.
Yes. It's probably a good way to look at it.
It'd be strudeling the schnitzel is something. It'd be pastry, making a wiener and a fucking donut.
It's like making a meat pastry.
It's a meat donut. Strudeling the schnitzel.
I don't know about a meat donut, but a meat like roll. You know who's big on fucking meat pies? Fucking South Africa. They're big on fucking meat pies. Fucking. There's a huge South African meat.
What is a meat? But what is a meat pie? Is that like?
So it's a pie with meat.
Is it? Are you talking like a chicken pot pie? Like it's a pot?
Like that, yeah.
Is what we call a pot pie. They call it meat pie. No, I think shepherd's pie is different. No,
shepherd's pie is different.
Shepherd's pie is different.
Mashed potatoes, but there's meat in it.
But yeah, but
it's different. It's mashed
meat,
potatoes.
vegetables, covered mashed
potatoes. There's no bread.
There's no crust, no flaky crust, no puff crust.
Yes, there is.
But your meat pies
on a shepherd's
pie, isn't there a fucking crust on it?
It's mashed potatoes. It's usually like mashed potatoes and like peas and carrots and like stuff like that, and like
hamburger.
But it's not just in a dish. It's got a outer.
No, the mashed potatoes are what makes the crust on top. Mashed potatoes are what makes the crust on top.
Are you thinking about a chicken pot pie?
No. Yes. What's the difference between a chicken pot pie and a fucking shepherd's pie? One's got hamburger and fucking...
Yeah, it's like chicken pot pie is like a gravy with like vegetables and meat.
Pastry crust, man, is what it is.
I wanted to talk about how we're going to destroy the world. Now we're talking about the difference between...
I think we're better off just staying randomly as we float through this stuff. That way we get a
mixed bag of
randomness. So people are listening like,
on it. Why would you want to end the world though?
Because I just found out that shepherd's pie doesn't have a fucking crust.
Good reason.
Exactly.
Good reason.
I've been confused my whole life, and I'm like,
end it all now.
Why would you do that to me? I've been eating the wrong thing. What the fuck has my mom been making me?
A valid question would be, with that knowledge, have you ever gone to a restaurant and like, I'll have the shepherd's pie. That sounds delicious.
You can only get it microwavable. It's only microwavable.
You know why? Because
your mom or your
no
grandma's
restaurant,
the only fucking person who's ever made that.
Not even comfort food restaurants like McDonald's serve shepherd's pie.
It's because that's when you're broke as fuck, you're a poor kid, and you just have potatoes, peas, carrots, and hamburger meat, and you throw it in a fucking pan.
You'll never... I'm not gonna say you never. I have never been to a restaurant that's like, today on the menu we have Salisbury steak or a lovely chicken pot pie, and if you
a 4-inch by 4-inch lasagna,
or if you're
a brownie for your 5-course meal and a brownie. Oh shit!
a pre-shaped chicken nugget that's flat on all sides.
Yeah.
Shit just doesn't exist in the.
Could you imagine if they still had TV dinners?
They still do have TV
They
dinners.
still do.
No.
Yes.
They still have Hunger Man and stuff?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
And
Oh, no, it's
they're
like- I'm pretty sure
fucking good,
How
man.
come I don't see them?
It's like a Hunger
Because
Man
nobody
XL.
sits in front of a fucking TV with those trays that you unfold, and there's 4 of them for your whole family. People used to actually get, well, I've got to eat it in front of the TV. I eat them when I'm like, they're quick and easy, like $1 for those fucking things, and it's a whole fucking meal. Sell them at Walmart. It's great.
Really?
And they're delicious.
I shop at Walmart. I don't remember.
They're in like the fucking back freezer section.
Although there's always been something about a microwave meal where the brownie in there gets hot and it's pretty much cooked because you microwaved it, not because it was cooked in an oven that may be a little bit.
Yeah. Those whole things were just
Desserts shouldn't be microwaved.
No.
Like,
I don't think if you got the meals that I'm talking about, you would even think that they're TV dinners. TV dinners are supposed to be toxic. Like,
they were.
it's got the plastic on top that
Yeah.
you put in the burn yourself when you fucking try to
Opening
eat
that
it.
hot, peeling it back.
And the fucking food is cold.
Oh yeah,
the center of the
yeah.
mashed potatoes
it's
is always
Center of the
cold.
mashed
burning.
fish was frozen. Yeah.
Burning hot, and it's fucking, you open it, the only thing that's hot is all of the plastic that you're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
supposed to fucking ingest. Fucking
Dan always
food
said-
is freezing.
Putting those estrogen mimicking freaking particles in you.
Yeah. It was in the microwave for 35 minutes. You could have cooked a fucking meatloaf in that time, but it comes out of the microwave just stone cold, ice in the middle of the mashed potatoes still.
Yeah.
You hook me up
With what?
with another beer?
Beer me.
I don't
bro.
need any more, but when in the Holiday Inn, when in Sebring,
I'll take another one too, please.
Stand by.
you're still jacked into the Matrix. You don't.
Yeah. It's the podcast mobile version.
I love it.
Sir.
You don't walk around.
Super easy. If we only had a Bluetooth version and then all this fucking spaghetti in the middle of the floor,
But how do you know Bluetooth's not going to give you brain cancer?
I don't care if it does. It's not your body. It's eventually going to end. Your body will be the Earth's
Your body's going to go back. Ashes to
You
ashes
hear how
and dust to dust.
how
right?
I've been talking lately since I started fucking taking drugs, saying stuff like, "You'll eventually go into the Earth."
What kind of drugs do you take?
Yeah, you're getting highly
Yeah.
affected by...
Just
Are you
the
doing-
shit that's in
are you
line.
doing-
I'm not doing like hard drugs.
Are you doing the marijuana?
Edibles and stuff like that, or CBD and
If you're not...
CBD's not marijuana though. CBD's
Well, you can do
It's
CBD
hemp.
with THC.
you can do CBD without
I do
THC.
the 1-to-1, but it's
Oh.
been changing my outlook on shit. And I say shit like, "Oh, do whatever. It's not your body. It's Mother Earth's. She's a dirty bitch."
She is. Fuck, tons of dirt out there.
If you stop wearing deodorant or start making your deodorant...
Guys, hear me out. I started another company.
I started another company.
It's like
that
Ares,
now
but it's the
making-
god of armpit odor
making
eliminator.
deodorant.
It's the god of war against armpit smelly.
I call it Aphrodite's scent.
She smells like cum and fucking
What
dirty
would you
socks.
make? What would you make deodorant?
Smells like two
out of?
hobos
You
that
think
make...
you make deodorant like you make soap? You have to get fat.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, they say it smells like two hobos that made love in a trash can.
That's my deodorant. I wasn't stinky enough. What would I make deodorant out of?
Yeah, what would you make deodorant out of?
Uh,
I mean, we know like you remember Fight Club? Would they make the soap out of fat? Right?
fat
Like,
from people.
yeah.
Raccoon scent glands. I don't know what they smell like. Seem very nice though. If they don't have rabies, you probably get up in there and get some raccoon scent. I don't know what that fucking smells like.
I think raccoons could make pretty good pets. I think. I'm surprised there's not
They do.
more. I'm
It's
surprised
not-
there's not more.
It's actually
raccoons as
legal.
pets.
It's legal to own a raccoon
Yeah.
in some states. Alabama's one of them.
Yeah.
I think Florida.
I didn't
You know?
own one, but
It's illegal in
when I
Washington.
was living in Fayetteville one time, I had some raccoons that would always come to the back door, and it got to that it started with this just one raccoon, probably
Putting up
you know,
his
everyone
hands,
else.
he's like, "I want some food."
Yeah, he would stand there and touch the glass door, and kind of like dance back and forth. And I would put like some dog food out for him or something like that.
I don't know. What does he want? Give him the dog food. The one thing he wants.
Oh, dude, literally over a year, it got to the point where he would come in the kitchen, and when I opened the fridge, like an animal, like a regular pet, you open the refrigerator, and he's like looking at, give him something out of the fridge.
I wish you could give me the Hot Pocket. You're like, it's cold in the center.
Like, you don't want the Hot Pocket. You want this chicken leg. This chicken leg's good for you. And then one day he came back and he had like a female and like 2 little ones with him, and it was like, kidding me? And then, I mean, we feed him.
That's kind of welfare American needs.
Coming from the dude who's over here ranting about social welfare programs, and he's developing the one for raccoons.
Raccoons are animals, dude. If it pleases me to feed animals, then it pleases me to feed animals. Does that mean I got to frickin' shell out frickin' pennies for
You literally did.
For some dude that doesn't want to fucking work? And
that chicken costs pennies.
Yeah.
That raccoon did shit for you. He just made you feel good because he's a cute little fucking panda bear animal.
It's an animal.
Yeah.
It's an animal. It's not a person.
People are animals too.
Some.
They're mammalian.
Some people are animals. Some people are fodder. I don't know.
They were saying that in Nazi Germany as well.
That what? Some people were animals and some people were fodder?
I think they were saying some people, all of this type of people are fodder and animals.
Hey.
But a raccoon would be cool. Squirrels are not cool animals or pets. They're not cool pets. Squirrels turn on you.
Squirrels
are fucking horrible. But you can own raccoons. It's legal someplace. Not Washington at all.
I think raccoons probably have personality and stuff.
They're smart. They're all over Washington. I don't know why you can't fucking own them. They infest Washington. You can't own them. They look at you from trees. They're just like, what's up? Put some cat shit out there for you.
Put some cat food out, man, and start talking to them and stuff like that before you know it.
They're fucking awesome. They're just look at you. There's no I looked it up because we were like, does this thing have fucking rabies? There's no documented case of rabies in Washington.
Raccoons, or rabies in raccoons.
Yeah.
For some reason, they don't get rabies.
I don't know if that's true. I think there's some in New York.
That's one of the things about raccoons.
Well, ask Mother Google.
Ask Mother Google. Do raccoons get rabies?
Yes. They are the #1 carrier for rabies.
Which is why I've had it for 20 years.
Doesn't affect old
Don't affect me.
Yeah, they're actually considered a primary carrier.
Yeah, dude.
Really?
Yep.
There you go.
Because there was a real, when I was living in New York.
Can't believe everything you read on the internet. I'm just gonna put that out there.
It was on Wikipedia, the page you just made.
Yeah.
He's typing. He's like, it literally says raccoons are the carriers of AIDS.
Hello, my name is Steve. I live in my mom's basement, and I make Wikipedia pages.
Is that what people that live in their mom's basement do?
There's probably a job where you get paid by maybe a political party to make Wikipedia pages where you have people type in shit like, do raccoons carry AIDS, or do they have herpes? Do raccoons have herpes? Or does this person believe this thing? And it's like, oh yes, it's top search on Wikipedia. I don't know about you, but I type in are raccoons carriers of rabies wiki and look it up.
Do you put wiki on the end of it?
That was from the Humane Society.
Oh, yeah. So
everybody knows the Humane Society is not a fact-based organization. Rabies is just
my bad. Next time I'll go to the PETA website.
Rabies is one of those schemes. It's not a real thing. There's no such thing as rabies.
Rabies is man-made.
On the PETA website, it literally says raccoons are the only animals you're allowed to eat. They're fucking PETA.
PETA lets you eat raccoons?
No, just talking shit.
What to say?
Let's see if we can talk enough shit about PETA.
It doesn't sound very PETA-like.
We do. Yeah, we have. We talk about PETA a few times on the episodes.
Ethical treatment of animals. Yeah. What's ethical? Define ethical.
What does ethics mean?
No, that's literally what's
business ethics. We are literally all dumber for
the ethical
everything
treatment
you just
of
said.
Animals.
Ethics are subjective.
By definition, it's relating to moral principles or a branch of knowledge dealing with these.
So it's based on your own personal principles. Like, do I believe this is ethical? It's like my opinion on shit. I'm offended. I don't give a fuck if you're offended.
I think there's a belief that you have universal ethical standards.
Okay.
Like don't kill people.
So people talk about
don't eat raccoons.
That's morals. That's moralistic.
People talk all about how, especially PETA, about how we need to be. There's got to be a humane way, and animals should suffer, right? I mean, that's kind of their thing, right? But if you look at nature, animals suffer.
Yes.
Everything suffers. Okay? Do you think that the fucking rabbit that gets caught by the snake is dying ethically and humanely as the snake is coiling its way around it and squeezing the shit out of it and then swallowing it alive? Do you think that's ethical?
Yeah, and not only that,
it's not a quick. That's not ethics, though.
But it's not a quick.
That's not ethics, though.
It's not a quick, painless death, and that's what these PETA people are like. Oh, animals, they have to have the quick, painless death, or it's not ethical, and we're not treating them humanely.
But only
in
that,
nature, you think when you get hit by a freaking lion and you're getting bit open by 4 or 5 lions, you think that that's not painful and suffering?
And then a hippo comes.
Yeah.
Fucking kicks everybody's ass and then throws you to the animals you just kicked the shit out of.
That's freaking horrible. I mean,
you see that video with that fucking that deer
animals
that was
in nature suffer.
Stuck in the mud, and the hippo came up and fucking threw the deer, the antelope, into the gator's mouth. Yeah, that was fucked up.
Animals suffer, man, in life. When we give that cow a bolt to the brain,
it's ethical.
Before it goes into freaking that's better
ethical.
than anything he could have expected in the wild.
But I'm not sure, but I feel like we're using ethical wrong. I'm not exactly sure if it applies to the shit we're talking about.
What's not ethical is when you see the videos of the fucking cows in the meat mill where they just walk them into that fucking the guillotine and it's just a slow clamp, just like, and he's like, fucking head's chopped off. That's not ethical. Are we talking about?
But you think when his head's chopped off? But when your head gets chopped off, you die pretty.
I could be wrong.
You die pretty much instantly.
Those videos are a slow clamp of his fucking neck.
I thought they used the bolt thing to kill the cows.
Sometimes, but there's all different kinds of videos of cows just being fucking slaughtered for meat production, where they just all these weird torture devices that just slowly, like a scissor.
I haven't seen those.
I've seen the video where they cut the neck and just leave the spinal cord, let it bleed out, so it's like shaking to make the blood.
That's bad.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
That's bad.
It's really fucked up. If you're out there listening and you want to really fucking see some nasty shit, Google
what was that thing the guy used in No Country for Old Men? That freaking bolt thing. It was
the bolt gun.
That thing was awesome. Yeah, I don't know why they don't just make that the law. They all have to go like that, bolt to the brain, so they're just dead instantly.
I think in America they do that. So about ethics, educate us. You don't know what ethics are because you have none.
I don't know if it's, it could be. I'm not exactly sure. Like I said, I'm not sure if ethics and the way we're using it applies to animals, but it may.
It's got to apply to animals. Otherwise, PETA wouldn't have put ethics in their name. It's got to apply. It has to.
Specifically to animals.
I think the human-animal interaction ethics applies, but to animal interactions, I'm pretty sure no one can make a valid argument about animal ethics.
That is unethical. That is not ethical. It's a weird word.
A system of moral principles. The rules of conduct recognized in respect to a particular class of human actions or a particular group, culture, etc. Medical ethics, Christian ethics. There's different kinds of ethics. So when they say people for the ethical treatment of animal, I guess they're talking about animal ethics.
No, they're talking about people for the ethical. It starts with the people. It literally begins there.
But we're animals ourselves. So how does ethics apply in the animal kingdom if we include ourselves? We should be better than the animals?
With respect to the rightness and wrongness of certain actions and to the goodness and badness
all fucking subjective. You decide
the motives that end of such action.
You make that determination. The collective hive mind of civilization.
But the hungry lion doesn't.
He doesn't have ethics.
Worry about the ethics of what he's going to kill.
He sees only survival. The hungry lion sees only survival.
Eat and
There's
fuck.
no ethics.
Eat and fuck.
I mean, that's most predators, though, right? With the exception of like your high IQ, like your dolphins and orcas, like those high IQ mammals that live in the ocean. Like,
I just saw a video the other day of some chick that was swimming, not even that, like not maybe 20 meters from shore, and there was an orca with her 2 calves swimming right there with her. She was wearing a black wetsuit, and I guess, I don't know, maybe they were just checking her out because she was black like them, but they were freaking just all around her and her cubs. Pretty freaking... Or calves, I'm sorry.
Orca calves, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to talk about that a dolphin or something tried to fuck her.
No.
I saw two...
Is that where you go with that? Is that where your brain goes?
Because you started talking about fucking orcas.
So now, wait.
I have seen two beluga whales play tummy sticks in a fucking zoo one time. It was fucking gross. So then,
I have heard.
So there was a thing with me and my brother where we would when he would come when I was stationed in Germany is when we saw it. We were in the fucking zoo over there. There's two beluga whales playing tummy sticks, just they're playing tummy sticks. So we had this inflatable beluga whale, and we both traded off and fucking. No, we had this little squeaky.
Wait. Stop. You just both traded off and did what with it?
Fuck the inflatable beluga whale.
I was about to say, that's what I thought you said.
No, so there was the thing at the little shop they had, and it was a beluga whale, a little squeak toy thing.
Yeah.
And so we would sneak it into each other's luggage whenever we'd visit. It's like a fucking gag because the two fucking things.
But you did fuck it.
Yes.
Before or after?
Same time. I think he subscribes to this podcast. He'll laugh at it and then...
Yeah.
I'm so embarrassed.
Can't believe you said that I fucked the beluga whale.
So what else? Talk about your... We got into it the one time we tried to record before Slick got all fucking crazy.
Oh, man.
Fell off the trip. But, people that follow us listen to... They are skydivers or scuba divers and all different kinds of action sports. But the man right here, Mike, is falling out of the sky and forgot to pull his parachute.
Yeah. It's fucking ridiculous. I don't know why you guys want to make me rehash this shit all the time.
I've asked you 3 times to tell the story. And each episode,
it's kind of
up.
like therapy, but just not for you or actually anyone else.
It's not real. Yeah. See, it would be therapy. It would be therapy if I had nightmares about it or shit like that, which I don't have too
I
often.
just want to laugh at your pain.
My pain.
I mean,
I told you a little while ago about the time in Launchstool where I went 3 weeks without taking a shit. That was part of that pain.
Yeah.
That was a direct result of that pain. Dude, you take your pelvic area for granted. I'm going to tell you that. Take that shit for granted.
It's the center of everything.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. No idea what kind of shit goes on down there.
You have no idea.
What
function your pelvis has. So how did you break it? Let's talk about that.
Okay.
We've all heard the story, but...
EDRI exercise.
Listening,
got a freaking call. Get on the freaking plane. You're going to freaking jump in. Do a mission. So some quick planning. Load up our shit. We go to the Army Airfield there in Stuttgart. Get on the plane. And we get up. And in the rush there, I had miscalculated. We used to use these things called AR squares, which was an automatic opening device that went up barometric pressure. And I fucked up the calculation and put the wrong elevation on that thing for it to activate. So anyway, we go up. There was some big fucking storm coming in or whatever. We're flying over the drop zone. We ended up doing 4 or 5 different passes trying to get up, looking for a hole, and there was nothing. And then my AJ, my assistant jump master, he's looking down. He's like, I see the drop zone. It's right there. And so we're like, okay, there's a hole. We can freaking get through there. We come around again, line up on it, and freaking jump out. Free fall was no issue. We're all in formation, whatever. And then we get down to 4,000, and it's time to pull. And when I pulled my ripcord, the automatic opening device fired. So the reserve comes flying out and starts wrapping around the risers and the main and everything. So it's wrapping around my neck and stuff too, so I'm having to fight it and everything while it's trying to inflate. I can't just cut the main away because the reserve, like I said, was wrapped around my neck and couldn't let that thing inflate. So I had to fight that all off. And by the time I got that undone and cut the main away, the reserve had basically wound itself up into a big ball of shit. And that's basically what I plummeted to the earth with the rest of the time. I guess I probably could have kept my main and tried to pull my reserve in and contain it and just ride the main down. But I couldn't really see what I had above me because it had just turned night. It just got dark. Couldn't really see. And yeah, then I was just worried. Then I was just working on trying to get it to open completely until I woke up. So What happened? The last thing I remember seeing was as the trees were coming up, and I didn't land in trees. I landed in a farmer's field, but saw the trees rushing up. So, less than 100 feet, probably, whatever. And then, I don't remember the impact or anything. It was just basically woke up in the rain, laying on the ground, and I could feel my toes and wiggle my toes and everything, and wiggle my fingers. So it was like, okay, it's good, but I couldn't sit up. It was just like laying on the ground, not really being able to move, but being able to move all my digits. So it's like, well, no spinal injury there. And then just kind of in and out. The guys on my team said that I actually had freaking opened my ruck and pulled my radio out and set it all up, even though it was all broken. But I don't remember doing that. I don't remember seeing any of that. I just kind of remember like going in and out. And then I remember, God, one of the worst pains ever was there was some light shining in my eyes, and then they put me on a backboard, and that was the worst pain ever. And then that was 3 days later, woke up in the hospital. It's pretty catastrophic. So I had a open book pelvic fracture. So imagine the front of your pelvis being opened up left and right, and then my right hip, like fractured up and away from my pelvis. So I kind of landed on the left side, and the energy blew out the right side of it. So, yeah. So some plates and screws to put the pelvis back together, plates and screws to put the hip back together. I broke all the ribs on my left side. The barrel on my SR-25, my sniper rifle, was bent. All my radios and computers and everything were broken. But I had a sleeping bag in my rucksack too, so I never lowered my ruck, so that might have helped a little bit. And,
well, you're dragging material, so you would have been a little bit feet down as well.
Yeah. Well, I landed on my ass is how I landed. That's how they said was that the impact was right here.
My cheek.
And then, shot out. And that's like where most of the damage is, my freaking left ass cheek and left side and everything like that. That's where most of the nerve damage is. And then, that was it. Woke up in the hospital. Then it was in a German hospital too, in Leonberg, right outside of Stuttgart. And then they put me on a medevac flight to Landstuhl from there. And then that was a nice long stay there, which I say, man, those fucking docs there, some good dudes. If you were in a traumatic event, that would be the best place to go. Guaranteed they could save your life, because I bet you they've treated every type of traumatic injury that you could possibly imagine. Dudes getting blown up, shot, whatever, run over, slammed into the earth. They have freaking seen it and redone it. That's where they put Humpty Dumpty back together again. No shit.
You know, though, but we always say he's an egg, but the story never says he's an egg.
Doesn't.
It doesn't.
That's some deep shit.
I know.
That is freaking...
That's some deep
mind
shit, dude.
blown. Just now you just blew. I immediately started thinking about the dude with the tweed jacket in the egg. Yeah.
Well, what would he be besides an egg? A human person?
I don't know.
What would his
Humpty Dumpty had a great fall.
Yeah.
When they fixed him, they replaced his balls.
Only all of Uncle Sam's horses and men were able to put Humpty back together again.
Yeah.
And they definitely do that at freaking Landstuhl. I'm telling you.
That's seriously. No one ever said he was the egg. It's fucked up.
So what else could he possibly be? That would be. I guess he was.
He was the what's that band?
Made of glass.
No, he's that singer. It's like, now's your chance, do the dance, the Humpty Hump.
Oh.
He's like
Humpty Dance. That's actually on my playlist.
He wore the fake nose and the
it's where Tupac
Digital Underground is the name of the band. Yeah.
It's where Tupac got his start.
Tupac was a part of Digital Underground?
Yeah, he was. He was
in some movie.
He was a backup dancer.
Yeah, he was a backup dancer.
I know he wasn't gangster. He was not gangster.
He was not at all. No.
Yeah.
No.
He was a backup dancer with freaking Digital Underground for some time, and then that's when he got his.
Well, he was a backup dancer, and he started rapping.
Yeah,
and
with them.
He was in that movie with Dan Aykroyd, where he kind of got a little bit famous, and then he built from there. And then obviously Suge Knight and all the other shit that happened.
Yeah,
went to jail. No, Suge Knight got him out of jail, so he wasn't with him before then. He got the rape charges, sexual assault charges, put him in jail.
Tupac.
But he's alive in East Asia right now. Getting ready to
You
release.
think he lives in East Asia?
I read some article
He
about
lives in all of our hearts.
Suge Knight's son. He had claimed before that like Tupac was still alive and that he was in East Asia getting ready to drop new music and some shit.
And guess what he did when they claimed that?
Or it could just be, I don't know, all the unreleased shit that they just never released before he died.
There's been no new Tupac albums since then.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody freaking kind of fades away. Nobody keeps making freaking albums.
So you're saying
especially not if you
Tupac
get shot. I mean, Elvis didn't fucking keep making albums after he was shot, after he killed himself. Sorry. Shoot himself. He didn't get shot, he killed himself.
I thought he OD'd.
Is that not killing yourself?
OD'd on the toilet.
It is. It's a version of.
I would agree with you on that. So I said he killed himself.
But it'd be hard to argue that it was suicide.
May not have been.
Without like
How do
a
you
letter like
how do you overdose without a doctor's prescription?
Well, instead of shooting up 10 milliliters,
No
of
one
heroin,
prescribed him. That's a dose. There's no fucking regulated.
No, they're not
dose.
saying. Yeah, but
I know what it
means. There's what your body can survive. So, like, if you go buy a pound of cocaine right now and snort all that shit, you're gonna OD.
I don't know if you've seen me on the weekends.
Well, I gotta say, it seems to me that overdosing is not intentional suicide, but it should be called an unintentional suicide because you are killing yourself. Most people that overdose don't do so intentionally. They're just trying to get that next level
Do you call driving a vehicle and texting on your phone and then smashing into something overdosing on fucking
No, I just
road?
No.
Well, I guess you. But if you're saying if you call overdosing unintentional suicide, then you could probably argue that texting while driving and if you get in an accident and die could be considered unintentional suicide as well, right? Like you did that to yourself, you killed yourself by your actions.
Your actions caused it. Yeah, I think anything that your actions cause should be considered suicide.
In the mindset that somebody's depressed and they want to end it, you can kill yourself. I mean, I could run in that swamp right there, that fucking lake, and kill myself. Suicide by crocodile.
I'm going to say,
what?
Just on a small wager, I'm going to say there's no crocodiles in that pond.
The face is what makes them different.
You got to go about...
And depending on how long ago I saw them.
You got to go about 150 miles south from here if you're going to find a crocodile.
The Everglades?
Yeah.
It's a 6-hour drive to there.
It's a long way to go have sex with a crocodile.
I don't want to have sex with them. I don't
believe you. Your fascination with crocodilians this weekend so far.
That's what they're called. Crocodilian?
I think that's like the classification of the crocodile family or the genus.
I'm in Florida. That's why I keep talking about it. There could be some shit in there. I was trying to scuba dive.
Are you sure there's crocodiles in the Everglades?
Florida is to my knowledge, if I remember correctly from the Discovery Channel, is the
finding Bigfoot.
Florida is the only place where crocodiles and alligators coexist.
Where is it the only place in the United States that there?
No. I believe Florida is the only place in the world where both alligator breed and crocodile breed coexist in the same habitat.
You believe
I could be wrong.
Do you know it?
No. I said I believe. I remember from what I saw in Discovery.
Oh. I thought you said you believe. We'll have to replay the tape.
And like I said, I believe it. So I believe it doesn't mean it's true.
Yep. I believe in my hearts of hearts, and these days that's all that matters, is if you believe something.
Crocodiles and alligators belong to a group of reptiles called crocodilians.
See?
Which are the largest of the living reptiles.
Right.
Of the 23 different species of crocodilians
There's fucking
in the world,
23?
2 species are native to the United States, and South Florida is the only place where both of these species exist.
Yep.
You believed
Florida
correct.
Everglades from the Everglades Holiday or from the Everglades website. Florida Everglades is the only place in the world where both alligators and crocodiles live together. The Crocodilia family includes. Yep, just pretty much reading the same shit now.
Is crocodilia, is that the term for alligators and crocodiles?
Yeah, I think alligators.
How the fuck did they get called alligator?
Because why is the U.S. the only country in the world that speaks, the only English-speaking country in the world that pronounces Z and not Z? Like, because we just name shit whatever the fuck we want. That's what you can do when you're the boss.
Are we the boss of the world?
Are we really asking that question?
Well, I don't know. You just say we were the boss. I'm just like, I wonder, what are we the boss of? We say Z instead of Z.
The boss of naming our own shit here.
Naming our own shit here.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I'm down with it.
I would argue that if you went to different parts of Germany, they all call a water fountain the same thing. But here, if you go to fucking Wisconsin, they call it a bubbler. You know what I mean? Like, there's like stupid shit like that. Like, we're the only place that
Okay, so obviously you grew up in a pop
Soda and pop
area.
No, I grew up in a soda area.
Did you soda?
I'm from
Oh yeah, Arizona.
From
that's
the West.
a soda.
Yeah,
That's soda's area. Where I was I moved from Texas to Wisconsin. It was like they were like pop, and I was like,
in New York.
What is
depending
pop?
on where you are in New York? It's
what is
soda
pop?
or pop.
Well, so you go towards New York City, it's going to be soda. If you go anywhere outside of it, it's going to be pop. That's why I say the West, because there's a lot of I find Arizona, like people, especially in Phoenix, they're a lot like New Yorkers as far as like that. And you have a lot of East Coast, obviously, transients that kind of built that area up. I don't know if necessarily them per se.
Arizona has a lot of homeless people.
Well, it's warm outside. It's a lot easier to sleep outside and not be cold when you're homeless in Arizona than it is.
I agree. If I was homeless, I would probably live in Arizona.
Still sucks, regardless.
Because it's dry, too. It's warm and dry.
Then you got all kinds of fucking rodents and shit that are trying to eat you.
But why would the dry...
Well, being warm and dry is always better than being warm and wet.
So you're saying they
unless you're in a V, then of course being warm and wet is very nice.
He's talking about pussy.
Oh,
pussy.
Right over my head. Didn't even pay attention.
In a V. I mean, what would you rather be? Warm and dry or warm and wet? If we're not talking about being in a V, just standard outside in the environment. Warm and dry or warm and wet?
Well, I have bias, so it's not, because I'm from a place where it's always warm and dry originally.
But you've been in the military. You've been around.
Yeah.
Think about wet. What happens when you get wet? You start chafing.
Socks.
Start chafing. You just feel like...
I took my socks off.
Feel like your skin's sloughing off. Balls are
shoes.
chafing. You just feel...
Yeah, but typically the
wet
warm and wet on the East Coast
on you.
probably won't kill you, where the warm and dry out there, if you are exposed long enough, could very well
warm
kill
and dry, probably best.
Well, warm and dry best. There we go. We've solved the problem.
I don't know.
And
everyone moved to Arizona.
I didn't know it was a problem, but...
So to summarize everything that we talked about, and the destruction of the planet is if you're warm and
dry,
wet, the whole planet is going to die.
It's going to die. Well, you're just not as happy as if you're warm and dry.
Unless you're in a V.
And it's weird because, you can get on that scale. Like, if I'm laying in my pool on a nice day, I'm warm and I'm wet, and it's very comfortable. It's very nice. It's very nice. It's very enjoyable. But at the same time...
But don't you get in the pool to cool down?
Unless you got a heated pool in the south.
Well, I mean, if you live in Florida, you have a heated pool. The temperature of my pool is at least 88 degrees.
Warm pool
every day. Oh yeah, my pool is freaking warm as shit.
Why the fuck don't you just have air temperature pool?
It is air temperature. It's usually 95, 96, 98 outside.
It's not heated pool, but it's a warm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm telling you, my pool is 88 to 92.
What the fuck is the North doing? Having cold pools. The fucking cold ass weather. You guys have heated pools?
My pool's not heated, but it is warm. Very warm. Nice. Now in the winter, my pool's cold in the winter. It gets cold.
What the fuck are we talking about?
I don't know. How the fuck did we get on that?
I have no idea. It's supposed to be destruction of the planet.
Yeah, we're trying to lull your 6 listeners into a state...
Get the fuck out of here. More than that.
Into a state of comfort before we get into some heavy, deep shit. Is it really? I don't know what's going on right now.
Leave that music playing. I'm going to do an outro for this episode.
Dogs getting their nails clipped. You would think it was...
Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning into this episode. I don't know if you tune in anymore. You just kind of punch some numbers and some fucking thing. And, yeah, you get there. Please go subscribe. If you like this episode, go subscribe to Patreon. No, you can keep playing. If you like this episode, go check out, maybe not that close. You don't have to. Go check out patreon.com/violentprofessional. Go support us in other ways. And, yeah, you can sponsor the episode. Mike?
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. And it's getting late, and we've got jump scheduled for tomorrow, so...
Sick.
I'm going to call it quits.
Yeah, me too.
And we're not sorry that we wasted your time.
Nope.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
it's always good
not.
for us. Hope it's good for you.